For this tutorial, I would like to show you how to make a really simple double V-neck sweater. I'm going to be using a 5mm hook, and I'm also going to be using the yarn that I used to make my backless dress. So I've had to unravel that. Still can't really go out and get yarn, but I think that's going to change next week, which is really exciting. So it's a double V-neck, and what I mean by that is that there's a V at the front with a deeper V at the back. So yeah, might sound complicated, but it's actually really easy and yeah, should be really quick to make. Okay, so we're going to do that. Also, if you like the video, please give it a like. If you would like to subscribe and join me for some more tutorials, that would be really awesome. I would love to have you join me. I don't think there's anything else to say. Thank you to all my patrons. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for supporting me. It means the world to me. I really appreciate it. Alright, so yes, I don't think there's really anything else we can say at this point. We should just get straight into making the sweater. Alright, now, to make this sweater, for the first time on this channel, I'm going to be doing something completely different. And the top half of this sweater, or the beginning of the top part of this sweater, is going to be done in two separate parts. So both the shoulders are going to be two separate parts to begin with. And we're going to start, and then as we go along, you'll see what I mean. So, to begin, take the end of your yarn and make a slip knot, just like that. Then, adjusting the knot to the hook, like this. Focus the camera. And we're going to chain 16. So chain stitch, that's yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 16 of those. Alright, and there's my 16. Now we'll be beginning increases right away, right from this beginning chain. So, and also just to mention quickly, at the beginning of every row, we'll be chaining up 1, and it's going to be double crochets, but we're only chaining up 1. So, I'm skipping the first chain from the hook, that's going to act as the chain up 1, obviously. We're going to double crochet into the second chain from the hook, so that one just there. Double crochet into the second chain, like this. Double crochet, and because we're beginning increases right away, it's chain 2 and then another double crochet into that same chain. And if you can hear that music, I apologize, my neighbor is a little noisy. Okay, so there we go, we've done that's the first of the increases. So then we work double crochets into all the chains till you get to the last one, and I'll meet you there. Alright, here I am at the last chain, so I'll put a double crochet into that last chain, and then I will chain 2 and another double crochet into that last chain. So there we go, that's the first of the increases for this shoulder. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're having the smaller V at the front and the deeper V at the back. And to do that, we'll be doing every row. For the front, there will be an extra stitch, and then every second row, there will be an extra stitch for the back. So we'll be skipping a stitch for the back. Do you know what I mean? Every second row, yeah. Okay. Sorry, the music upstairs is distracting. Anyway, okay, so look, to start the next round, I'm going to do a couple of rounds with you, a few rounds with you, rows, sorry, so you see what I mean. Okay, so we chain up 1, and we turn, and then we put a double crochet into the first stitch. I mean, at this point we're not even increasing yet, so then after that we put a double crochet into that chain space of the increase section from the first row. So 1 double crochet, followed by a chain 2 and then another double crochet, and that's how we do our increases from here on. Grab some more yarn and then just work double crochets up until the next up until the other increase section. Okay, now that I've reached the next increase section, so just here, I'm going to put my double crochet into that chain space, so double crochet into the chain space, chain 2, and another double crochet into that chain space. And then you want to get that last stitch at the end, so that's just there. So double crochet into that last stitch right at the very end. Make sure never to miss that stitch right at the end. Yes, so just like that. And that's row 2. Alright, now for row 3, chain 1 and turn, and then a double crochet. Now we're going to be increasing every second stitch and every second last stitch. So let me show you how to do that. So we double crochet into the first stitch, just like this, and then into the second stitch along we put 2 double crochets. And for this row we'll be increasing for the back as well. So into the increase section, double crochet, chain 2 and another double crochet into the increase sections, double crochet up to the next increase section. Oh, okay, now I've reached the next increase section. Oh, focus the camera. Oh no, focus. Yep. Alright, so I've reached the next increase section, so we're going to double crochet into that chain space, followed by a chain 2, and another double crochet into the same chain space. And then moving on to the second last stitch at the end of the row, so we're going to put, remember, 2 double crochets into that stitch for the increase, and then we're going to put our last double crochet into that stitch right at the end. So there we go. Grab yourself some more yarn. And then we start the next row. Alright, to do that we chain up 1, we turn. Now remember I said that we're going to be skipping an increase every second row for the back. So this is going to be the back. Okay, so my phone cut out because storage issues and stuff. Anyway, doesn't matter. Work with what you've got. Now, like I said, we chain 1, we turn, and again, we will be skipping an increase for the back for every second row. So this is going to be that second row. Now, all that involves is doing a double crochet into every stitch instead of the 2 you would do into the second stitch. Up until the increase section, which is right here. So yeah, it's just skipping the increase for the back for the second row. So increase, chain 2, another double crochet into the chain space, oh, and then working up. Oh, I don't know what just happened. Alright, and then working up to the next increase section, where you will do the increase, and then you will increase for the front. Oh, actually, I'll meet you at the other end. Alright, here I am at that next increase section for the front. So double crochet into the chain space, chain 2 and another double crochet into the chain space. Then working a double crochet up until the second last stitch. So where are we? Double crochet. Where are we? Okay. I think that's the third last stitch. And here's the second last stitch, so we put 2 in. So every row we're going to be increasing the front, obviously just to make the V smaller than the V at the back. So yeah. And there we go. Now for the next row, you'll be chaining up 1, turning the work, double crochet into the first stitch, 2 double crochets into the second stitch, so 1 and same stitch, 2, and yeah, just repeat this pattern. Then when you get to the end, you will, hang on, what will you be doing? You'll be doing the increase for the back. So yeah, if you can remember that pattern, it's every row is an increase for the front on the second stitch, or the second last stitch, and every second row is an increase for the back. So if you can remember to do that. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be continuing this, I think. What you do is you try it on, and until the front has reached a point where it will go sort of to the middle of your chest without having to stretch it across. So you would drape the shoulder over your shoulder, and you just measure it that way. So that's what we're going to be doing. And at that point, we're going to start work on the other side, which is going to be basically repeating the same process as this. So yeah, just doing that until you've gotten to the measurements that this side got to. Then you will be joining the front. Okay, so yeah, I'm explaining this all to you now. We will do it together. So for me, I think this is, I'm increasing until the stitch count at the front reaches 23 stitches. So that's for me, and that's when I'll start work on the other side. So yeah, and also what we're doing is, same with all of the sweaters that I make, we continue the increases at the increase sections, so these bits here, until the front and the back increase section fits comfortably beneath your arms. And I have a feeling from what I've already done that when I've reached the point where I'm ready to join the front, the V at the front, the 23 stitches on either side, that's also the point where the increased sections fit comfortably beneath my arms. But, you know, at the same time I'm not quite sure. So we're going to do this. We're going to go away. We're going to complete our, yeah, just stick to the pattern until the front. Yeah, so like I said, you sling this bit over your shoulder, drape the front bit over your front, see if it meets sort of in the middle at your chest without pulling, without stretching. And yeah, then we'll meet back up then. We'll talk about how to do the other side, which is basically the same, and then we'll talk about how to join. Yeah, I'll see you soon. I've now reached a point where the front and the back increased sections fit comfortably beneath my arms when I sling this over my shoulder. And I've also reached a point where I'll be ready, after one more row of increase for the front, I'll be ready to join that. So we're going to work on doing that last row of increase for the front, while at the same time joining the increased sections. Okay, so, oh, I'm trying to hear things. Alright, where am I? Here we go. Now let's do this. Alright, so all you're going to do is you're going to begin another row as you normally would, so chaining up one and turning. And because this is the front, it's going to be another increase on the second stitch, so double crochet into the first stitch followed by 2 into the second stitch, so 1 and 2, then double crochets up until the increase section, and I'll meet you there and show you what to do. Okay, now here I am at the increase section. Before we work on joining that increase section, I'm just going to explain to you. So what I've got here is 23 double crochets for this half of the front. So because we're going to be doing this exact same, well, pretty much a mirror of this thing for the other side, you're going to have another 23 stitches for the front. So 23 plus 23, which will be 46. So 46 plus 46, which is 92. So you're going to have 40 stitches for the front, and you're going to continue increasing the back until the stitch count reaches 92. Do you see what I mean? So that it's even all the way around, and that's when you'll join the back. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. So to join for these increase sections, to join, you're going to take this increase section and then take the back increase section, and you're going to fold them together like this. Where are we? There we are. Fold them together like this. Then you're going to just put a double crochet straight through both of those increase sections to join. And it's as simple as that. That's how we join. Then moving on to this back V, what do we got? No, yeah, so it's an increase, yes, we're in an increase row for the back. So just double crochet straight into the next stitch on the back. We're just going to ignore the arms for the moment until we finish working on the body. and we're double crochet up until the end. Alright, so here I am at the end, and I've done that increase for this row for the back. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the yarn, or trim the yarn, but I'm not going to tie it off yet. I'm just going to leave it as it is, because at this point I'm not quite sure if it's this side or the other side that will be the continuation where we'll be joining for the front. But anyway, like I said, I've increased to the point at the front where the V would sit comfortably in the middle of my chest without sort of stretching. So I'm just going to leave it at this, and once we have done the other side to this stage, we'll then be able to work on joining both ends. But at this stage I'm not going to tie this off just yet, because I'm not sure. And if it is this side that I'll be using to continue on, then all I do is just, join the yarn again. It'll be fine. Anyway, so now I'm going to show you how to do the other side, because you'll be doing a reflection, a mirror image of this side. So it's not exactly the same as, it's exactly the same, but mirror reversed. Alright, so one moment. Here we are at the very beginning again for the other side. So again, we make a slip knot, we adjust the knot to the hook, and we chain 16. And once again, starting increases right away, we skip the first chain from the hook and we double crochet into the second chain along. Then, oh, that's annoying. Skipping the first chain from the hook, double crochet into the second chain along, chain 2, grab more yarn if you need it. Yep, chain 2, 1, 2, another double crochet into the same chain, then double crochets up until the last chain, where you will do another chain 2 and another double crochet all into the last chain. And there's row 1. Then again for row 2, we are chaining up 1, double crochet into the first stitch, and then double crochet into the chain space, followed by the chain 2 and another double crochet into the chain space, like that, like that. Then double crochets up until the other end, where you will do the same thing. You will double crochet into the chain space, chain 2, another double crochet into the chain space, and then put a double crochet into the final stitch. Alright, and there's row 2. Now we're going to do row 3, which is the beginning of the increases for the V's. So double crochet, chain up 1, double crochet into the first stitch, 2 double crochets into the second stitch, double crochet into the chain space, chain 2, and another double crochet into the chain space, then double crochets up until the end, and we're increasing for both V's at this point. So then it'll be, again, double crochet into the chain space, chain 2, another double crochet into the chain space. Then there'll be 2 stitches left, so 2 double crochets into the second last stitch, followed by a double crochet into the last stitch. Alright, so I've finished that row, which is row 3, so we've begun increases for both the back and the front, but, so, because we're flipping it, you'll remember from the other side that we've done, the beginning of the 4th row was the beginning of the back of the V. So we were skipping the first, we were skipping the increase for that row at the beginning of that row. So because this is going to be flipping it and the mirror, the reverse, we're going to be chaining up 1, and this is actually going to be the front, so we're going to be turning, we're going to double crochet into the first stitch, and then increases, because it's the front, the mirror image, 2 double crochets into the second stitch, double crochets up until the increase, double crochet into the chain space, chain 2, another double crochet into the chain space, and the end of the 4th row is going to be the beginning of the, well, the beginning of the back V. So you're going to skip the increase at the end of this row, and this is going to be the back. So you'll just do double crochet into each stitch. Wait, where am I? Yeah, no, is that right? Hang on a second. Sorry, I realised I forgot to put the increase in for the beginning of round 3, so I've just gone back and done that now. So there's at the beginning, the increase for round 3. So yeah, like I've said, the end of, the end of row 4 is going to be the skipped increase for the back. So it's going to help to mirror the other side. So that's all you're going to do. You're going to put a double crochet into each stitch up until the increase section. Do the increase section and then complete the row without increasing again. Chain up 1, turn, double crochet into the first stitch, then we're increasing for the back on that row, that'll be the second one, and 2 double crochets into the second stitch, and yeah, just continuing like that. So remember, it's every second row you skip the increase for the back, but you do an increase for every row for the front. And you'll do that until you've reached the stage where you're ready to join that increase beneath the arm. So it'll be exactly the same stitch count as the other side that you've done. And then you will join the increase sections when that fits comfortably beneath your arms. And then I will meet back up with you after that, and we'll work on joining the 2 sections. Right, see you soon.